Okay, I'm going to call to order today's Economic Development Committee for Tuesday, September 16, 2025. Can I please get a roll call?
Chair Yu,
I'm here.
Vice Chair Galassi,
Here.
Member Martinez, Member Eckhoff, Member Childress, Member Hader.
Under the authority of the County Board rules, I appoint Member Paula Deacon Garcia and Member Andrew Honig to serve as temporary members of this committee to establish quorum. All right, we don't have any public comment, correct?
We do not.
All right, with regard to my remarks. So good morning. I'd like to provide a brief update on WIOA federal funding and its impact on WorkNet DuPage. Both the Senate and House Appropriations Committees have passed their respective funding bills for Health and Human Services, for Education, and the Department of Labor. And the Senate's version for labor supports continued investment in WIOA and workforce development programs. In contrast, however, the House bill proposes eliminating WIOA adult and youth funding, along with significant overall cuts to the Department of Labor. Congress will now need to work toward a single version that can be agreed upon, passed, and sent to the President. Lisa Shabak, along with her team and county staff, they are closely monitoring the situation. However, as of now, it's unclear whether an agreement will be reached by the September 30 funding deadline. A continuing resolution could be passed to maintain current funding levels temporarily, but we likely won't have clarity until the end of the month. And if Lisa, if you have anything to add to that, maybe later, please add your thoughts. All right. So can I please get a motion to approve the minutes from August 19, 2025?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. I received a motion and a second. Is there any discussion or edits, revisions to the minutes? And hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Can I get a motion to receive and place on file 25-2240 RKC cleaners?
So moved.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And then can I get a motion to receive and place on file 25-2241 Village of Carroll Stream Public Works?
So moved.
Second. And all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And then may I get a motion to receive and place on file 25-2242 Clyde's Donuts?
So moved.
Second. I received a motion in a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that passes. Thanks. Now going on to procurement requisitions, and thank you, Member Childers, for coming to the meeting. Can I get a motion? I'll entertain a motion for EDP 1-25, recommendation for the approval of a contract, Parents Alliance Employment Project, to provide job training and employment services to serve youth in DuPage County for the Workforce Development Division for the period of October 1, 2025 to September 30, 2026 for a contract amount not to exceed $591,928.
So moved.
Second. Thank you, members Garcia and Galassi for the motion and second. Any discussion with regard to this item? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. I'll entertain a motion for EDP 2-25, recommendation for the approval of a contract to Wheaton Warrenville CUSD 200 to provide training and employment services for youth clients in DuPage County for the Workforce Development Division for the period of October 1, 2025 to September 30, 2026 for a contract not to exceed $200,000.
So moved.
Second. I received a motion and a second. Is there any discussion with regard to this item? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. And finally, with regard to EDP 3-25, could I have a motion to recommend for recommendation for the approval of a contract to Leaders in Transformational Education, or LIGHT, to provide job training and employment services for youth clients in DuPage County for the Workforce Development Division for the period of October 1, 2025 to September 30, 2026 for a contract amount not to exceed $120,000.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. I received a motion and a second from Member Honig. Any discussion with regard to this item? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Thank you. We do have one change order. Can I get a motion for 25-2231 amendment to purchase order issued to World Relief to provide youth job training and employment services in DuPage County to extend the contract date from September 30, 2025 to January 1, 2026. No change to the PO amount.
Second.
I received a motion and a second from members Garcia and Galassi. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes. Thank you. So now we have finally moved to our presentation. And thank you again, Beth, for being here. Beth Marchetti from DCVB on our hotel transportation update. And again, thank you to the members who arrived. We were running very late because UPS ran over. So thanks for your patience, Beth.
Good morning, everyone. I will be even quicker than I thought I was going to be, so.
You've got time.
I've got time, okay, perfect. Thank you for having me here. As you know, we are the hotel and tourism sector of economic development. I'm delighted to tell you that 3 weeks ago, Governor Pritzker put out a press release that there were record-breaking numbers throughout Illinois. Remember that this is 2024 numbers. They take an entire calendar year, and we don't get the audited numbers until about June or July from the previous year. So, but I do want to give you our numbers, and I can't walk over there, but if you look to your far right, year to date, you can see that the hotel revenue was about $428 million. Can you all see that? Because I can't see it very well from here.
On the right side.
Yeah, the right side, the second column. Yep. Thank you, Member Childress. You can be my Vanna over there with the pointed. If you take 6% of that, this is why I'm here to talk about this a little bit. If you take 6% of that, which is the state hotel tax, that's approximately $25 million. The entire state of Illinois' CVB budgets for all 38 bureaus is less than 22 million. So once again, DuPage County is funding the entire state's program. So that includes Peoria, Bloomington, Quad Cities, everybody. So we all get a piece of that, but I just wanted to point that out. Yeah.
Sorry, I just had a quick question. So you have room revenue,
Yeah, I was gonna.
27,
yeah.
oh, sorry.
No.
And then year-to-date revenue, is the difference like food and beverage at the hotel?
No, that's just all room revenue.
Then I'm confused what the top number is versus.
I'm so sorry. So the room revenue on the top is for the month of December.
Oh, I see.
And I'm
then-
so sorry.
got it,
Yeah,
okay.
so if you look on the far right, it's December. Yeah,
Well,
so I was
year-to-date
year
is
to date.
428 million just for our county.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Yes, just for our county. So if you look at the first column, we are still down in occupancy. That means there's less heads and beds. That means there's less people coming to the restaurants and the museums and the attractions and shopping. However, the middle column is average daily rate. So we are up from 2019 numbers. We're also up from the previous year, which is again, the second line. And then revenue per available room. This is getting into the geeky hotel data, but we're also up in rate. So when you're down in occupancy, the revenue managers at each hotel have to weigh how they're going to bring in more money. And so when occupancy is down, they raise the rate. So any questions on this slide, because it is a lot of information, but I can pull this for each of our municipalities. I can pull this by leisure, business, traveler, all of that. So our methodologies of research are really, really strong. Next slide, please. I do have this also for July of this year. We are still down in occupancy. I was going to go over a point, but you can see again on the right-hand column year to date, we're still at $245 million. And this is, 7 months into the year. So we're doing really well, but we're entering the slower times. I'm going to keep going because there's a lot on here. Next slide, please. So what this means, this is what the state puts out, and it's breakdown by county. So I have all the counties in Illinois, but what I did is I pulled the top 5. So you can see there, Cook County, which I'm going to make sure I point out. This is not only Chicago, but it's also 5 suburban bureaus, including Rosemont, Meet Chicago Northwest, which is Schaumburg, Arlington Heights. Good morning. This is Chicago Southland. It's also Oak Park and I'm missing one. Anyway, that's the Chicago number, Cook County number. So that's 60, I'm so blind right now, 66%. Is that what that says? Sorry, I don't have my glasses today.
Yes.
DuPage County, second in the state of Illinois. You can see that number is really high compared to the other remaining 3. So what I always tell folks when I'm down in Springfield and we have a new state office of tourism director is Chicago and Chicagoland make up 83% of the entire hotel tax and visitor spend in Illinois.
Right.
So what's not on there is a few of the Chicagoland bureaus because St. Clair, which is the St. Louis area, does come in 5th. So just wanted to show you that. That was a interesting numbers. We're doing really well. We only had a little bit of a dip in transportation. Oh, I'm sorry.
I
Yeah.
just wanted to congratulate you here because your DuPage is the only one that's gotten back to the 2019
Yes,
numbers.
yes.
So
Isn't that
well
great?
done. Yes.
Yes. And that's why I did that. I pulled all the years in the past. So, and 25 is looking very strong as well. We are obviously down in international travel, and I'm going to get to that in just a minute. So next slide, please. Thank you, Member Galassi. So we're here today to talk about the transportation grant. As you know, in February, you passed an ordinance that allowed us to have some dollars to help our hotels get things across the finish line. I did talk about Rosemont, but all of these programs are really, really helping our hotels that have lost amenities. So while they are doing well, revenues does not mean profitability. So expenses have gotten higher, labor costs are higher, they're having to pay people more. As we all know, just materials in general are higher. So thank you. Because our hotels don't want us to share the names of the groups, on the left side, I did put just the market segment that they come from, but you can see there's about 5,000 and some change left to spend. And we still have, Mary Catherine, through, I think the ordinance says through March, but we want to make sure that it actualizes through February. Why we like this program is no money is expended until that group has come and spent the night and I have the pickup report. So it's a no risk program. So you can see the rooms on the second to right column. Is that right?
Yeah.
Thank you for being my eyes today.
Yeah.
And so it's been a really great program. And the other thing is we tell our hotels almost every single time we see them, please apply. As long as you've got a piece of business that's going to be short window, they'll qualify. Now, remember that I'm also working on 2030 business. I have 2031 business. So this was a little bit of a challenge to find short-term business, but we've done really well. And you can see we've tried to hit all of the different districts throughout DuPage County.
Yeah, Member Toner?
Thank you, Chairwoman. I just want to congratulate you. Just the evolution of when I was a trustee in Lombard to now and seeing the development of the Yorktown district and the great things that it's done for the Westin. You know, people always say to me, they're like, well, I don't see many events, you know, happening in the West. I said, well, you must not be looking at the right place because there's so many and they're so vibrant. That was in the past, and now people are really noticing the difference. And I think this is a huge help because, you know, even though things are close in that area, there are still restaurants that a lot of elderly folks can't, you know, walk to, or there's other areas in Lombard that they want to, take a transport to, especially to the it was called the Intelligentsia Cup. I think they rebranded it, but people I talked to there, where member Dean Garcia and me went to, they took some sort of form of transportation from a hotel to get there. So I just want to say thank you.
Member Lassie, you also had a question?
Yeah, I just did have a question. Like, how do you determine who you're going to give the grant to based on ROI? Because some of them look like a great ROI, like the top line, and then the second line is just kind of drops considerably down from an
Yeah.
ROI perspective.
Very good question. We have a point system. So for example, one of those events is September 7th through the 9th. The week after Labor Day is historically a very slow time for our hotels. So in that instance, we'll approve a grant based on their needs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of based on time of year and demand in the hotels.
4th of July, really slow. Holidays are slow for us. We're not a beach destination or a mountain destination. So we will point it and work with the village managers as well to make sure that it's a good vetted piece of business.
Yeah, so again, we've already spent $45,000 and we have just the 5,000 remaining, right?
We spent, not quite, no, because the 5,000, it's 45,000 total with the 5,000 admin fee.
Okay,
Yep, so
Got
we're
it.
still short the $5,000. Yep.
okay.
Next slide, please. Unless there's more questions, I don't need to rush. So obviously this summer was very strong for DuPage. We've had a lot of visitation from Vivid Creatures at Morton Arboretum, Hokusai. I'm hoping that a lot of you have visited that. It's one more week. And Feast of the Senses at Cantini. So we've had some really nice events that compete with downtown Chicago. Next slide, please. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about IPW. IPW was June at McCormick Place. This is the only third time in about 30 years that Chicago has hosted this. The middle picture is a gentleman from Juliana Stratton's office. We had amazing appointments with the Asia market because of President's Cup next year. So from Korea, Tom Kim will be playing, hopefully. I will tell you that we had no Canadian appointments. And that is a huge market for us. So that's what we're facing right now. Decrease in Canadian market is double digits. And so we will continue to work hard to make sure that those people are welcomed. But right now, that's what we're facing. So IPW is an international trade show. It's appointment-based, and it's really to try to get tour operators and receptives to come to the area. We had a lot of appointments. Like I said, South America is still very strong. Mexico is still very strong, UK, Germany. So we did have great appointments there. Next slide, please. This is just a list of the upcoming trade shows that we'll be attending. I did eliminate some of our shows this year. I want my staff to take their databases that they've already met with folks and work them hard. Make sure that they're here. Once we bring them here and they see DuPage, they are in love with it. So that's what we're going to focus on this year. Next slide. Thank you. I'm pointing this out because this will be the third year that we will be hosting esports. But more importantly, if you look at the right side, New Lenox Sports Complex opened. And I'm proud to say that due to relationship building with our sports director, Igor Bakovich, we are the only rooming organization that they're going to work with. So the hotels are calling on New Lenox, and the gentleman over there with Perfect Game is saying, call the DuPage CBB and they'll source your rooms for you. So I'm really, really happy, and I hope that continues. We did think that was going to bring business. I will say that they are planning on building a hotel in New Lenox, so we're going to take advantage as many of those hotel rooms as we can until that happens. So next slide, please. Member Childress just left, but I wanted to talk about, we landed two big bowling tournaments, 27 and 28. We landed TNBA. I'm referencing the 2022 United States Bowling Congress Women's Championship. Room nights at the bottom there was over 18,000 rooms. We have a future opportunity in 2030. They're requiring $400,000 in bid fees. Part of that bid fee is to help close the gap between what the bowling alley wants to charge per line and what USBC is wanting to pay per lineage fee. So we're working closely with the management companies at Stardust and all the other different bowling centers that will be required to be part of the venues that host this. I will say Downers Grove is the host hotel, the DoubleTree, landed 33% of those rooms.
Wow.
So whoever is the host hotel will do exceptionally well. Again, I know we've talked about this before, but this was the perfect piece of business for our area. They were mostly, I would say the biggest majority were more mature ladies. I'm trying to kind of say that, my age. But they also have the Queen's competition, which is younger collegiate athletes. And they like to shop. They like to go to the bars in the hotel, and they love the Starbucks at DoubleTree Downers Grove. So they both saw double-digit increases in both of those. So good piece of business. Let's hope we land it.
Good for District 2 and 3.
Next slide, please. So on the horizon, next year is a banner year. Ooh, look at those curtains. President's Cup, the 100th anniversary of Route 66, and America's 250th birthday. So I know Governor Pritzker is planning on doing kind of a road trip on Route 66. So we'll make sure that he stops in DuPage County, at the very least at Delray's Chicken Basket in Willowbrook. And speaking of President's Cup, next slide, please. The tickets went on sale last week. And if it wasn't for the relationships of our organization with President's Cup, PGA Tour and Medina, we are listed there as hotel sources and just visitor information, which is under Visit Chicago, Chicago, but we want to make sure DuPage County got some love in there. Our site, next slide, and then I'm done, is live also. So you can't see this because I did a snapshot, but underneath it is calendar ticking time. So how many days? 300 and some days left, how many hours? And then there's list of things to do in all of our hotels, though there will also be a map that shows where Medina is and how close all of our hotels are, as well as the airports. So we're really excited about this. I'll probably come in the next few months and talk about what our activity is on the site. But I'm really excited that we are part of the partnership with PGA Tour, and that has been 4 years in the making, and then many years with Medina. So, yeah. I'm done.
Thank you, Beth.
That slide's just a thank you slide. So if you have any questions, I'm available after, whenever, but thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. All right, and I'm just gonna say, if anybody wants the presentation, we can send this out by email. Thank you, Beth, for the update on the hotel transportation grant program as well. Is there any old business? Any new business? All right, without objection, we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Oh, you agree.